Hi, it's Tina from freestufffinder.com. Today we're going to talk about coupon organization. All right, so coupon organization, one of the most common questions I get asked. If you are new to couponing, or even if you've been couponing for some time, and if you don't currently have a method, it can get a little bit overwhelming. If you have a subscription to a Sunday newspaper, you might have stacks of these things in your garage, and it gets overwhelming very, very quickly. Before I dive into coupon organization, I just want to say that there are a lot of different methods for organizing your coupons and storing them and carrying them around. And there's no right answer. There's no one solution that fits everybody. What I do might not work for somebody else. There's pros and cons to each one. So what I recommend is just kind of be aware of the different possible methods and try it out, try one out that speaks to you, and if it works for you, great. Because again, some of them take more time, but there's pros to it as well. So we'll talk in detail about the different other methods that are popular, but for today, we're just gonna talk very quickly about kind of what I do. So I don't cut coupons, store them individually. I don't break up the sheets. I do the whole insert filing method, which is that. It's you file a whole insert. I don't actually cut them up. So I have a kind of portable filing cabinet thingy like this, which is nice because you can bring it with you to stores. It has a handle. It has kind of a storage area in the front where I keep a pair of scissors, Sharpie, and kind of sticky notes. And you open it, and it's pretty straightforward. There's filing folders, and then there's folders within where I actually keep the inserts. So let's just pull out one just as an example. So I've got a label in the front that tells me that this whole stack is from 1-4. And then when you open up, I've got Smart Source, I've got another Smart Source, and I've got a red plum, and 2 red plums actually. So, and then you open up, you have the full whole insert like so. So that's the quick overview of kind of what I do, and it's pretty straightforward as you can see. But I really want to make this to be newbie friendly, so if you're just brand new into couponing, and I just want to like quickly cover pulling out of inserts and what I do, you know, on Sundays when they come. So first, when you get a stack of paper, if you do buy them in stores, I recommend kind of just flipping through to make sure there's inserts inside. Sometimes people will take them and you don't want to go home to find out that, you know, there's no inserts in the paper that you just bought. And if you haven't watched the Coupon 101 videos that I've created, check those out. But if you haven't already, the cheapest place to get newspapers, to buy them in store, is at the dollar store. Actually, the Dollar Tree, a lot of cities, they have, you know, like Sunday edition paper, but they don't have one on Saturday. They'll have like an early edition Sunday papers that come out on Saturdays, which is actually the best time to go get it for $1. Of course, if you can get it for free, friends, families, neighbors that, you know, have newspaper subscription, they might not use the coupons in the inserts, you can ask them. You can also go to some restaurants, some brunch places, breakfast places. They'll have, you know, like a stack where people, you know, come in, they read their newspapers and they just put it there when they're done. And if you flip through, the inserts are still in there. So I do that sometimes. Anyway, I have a subscription to 5 papers. There was a really good deal and I got 5 because the limit was 5 per household. So before I pull out the coupons, I just want to mention that what comes into each Sunday's newspaper, which inserts. So there's 3 inserts, 3 possible inserts. There's Red Plum, there's Smart Source, and there's P&G. Okay, which ones come out each single week is predetermined in advance, and we have the schedule on the blog. So here's how you can find it really quickly. You go to Google and you type Free Stuff Finder coupon schedule 2015. Or 2016, or whenever you watch this. okay? And it should be the first result. Click on it and it will give you the schedule. So for example, this paper that I'm currently have in front of me is from January 11th, so 1/11, and it says we have Red Plum and Smart Source. Now, when it says Red Plum and Smart Source, sometimes there will be 2, sometimes there will be 3. So I like to, even though as I'm flipping through, I find 1, I'll keep looking just in case there are more. So now, pulling the inserts out is pretty straightforward, but the tip I have is you want to, let me just scoot that aside, you want to kind of flip every single page just in case there is something that you might miss. Or sometimes, you know, the newspaper guy might like put an extra one in there, so you just don't want to kind of miss out. I like to go through each one. So here's a Smart Source. Here's a Red Plum. And even though I already got the Red Plum and the Smart Source, I want to just keep flipping. Coupons. Just to see that we didn't miss anything. So we didn't miss anything. That's cool. So I do that for each of the stacks. So I have 5 stacks and I just do that every single time. And I have them, just move this aside. Okay, so look through. See, after you've pulled out one paper, then you kind of just, you know how many to expect. Sometimes though, there'll be missing coupons in here. And because I subscribe to the newspaper just for the coupons, if the inserts are missing, I will actually call the paper and they will send me a replacement. So for example, that one was missing coupons. That's not cool. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, Red Plum goes to Red Plum pile. Smart Source goes to Smart Source. And I kind of just flip through to see if there's any extra. Nope. So Red Plum, Smart Source. Smart Source. Come on, Red Plum. There you are. Okay, so now I've got my 2 stacks. I've got my Smart Source. You know, sometimes I'll have more stacks, but this week we have just a 2 stack. I've got the Smart Source, and I've got my Red Plum. So for storage purposes, what you would do is first write the dates on them. So let me just grab my Sharpie. This. So I'll grab my Sharpie, and this was from 1/11. So one tip I want to have is, I want to mention is if you're not sure which week the inserts came in, you can actually look at the spine right here, and it will actually tell you very, very small prints that it was from a particular newspaper and the date. It will say 1/11 in this case. Okay, so I don't mark all of them. Some people mark all of them. I just mark the top one. So I'll say RP 1/11. If there's 2 Smart Source, then I'll put RP number 1, RP number 2. And on the Smart Source, similarly, I'll say SS 1/11. And then I kind of stick them on, let's get this all out. Okay, so I'm gonna do green, I'm gonna do blue. I'm kind of anal retentive, so I like to use colored folders. You don't have to, it's a lot cheaper not to use colored folders. So what I kind of do is I get the Red Plum and I put in a folder and I just stick it in. And then I get a sticky and I just say RP. And I put it on here. And then I have another folder for the Smart Source and I just put it all in and I say SS. And the reason why I use stickies is I don't like writing on them because I want to be able to reuse them. And I'm too cheap to get like the labels. It's much cheaper to get stickies. So I can find them on clearance for really, really cheap. All right, so then I put them in like a filing folder, hanging folder thingy. And again, you could put labels on here, but I don't want to keep having to buy labels, which can get pretty expensive. I use a sticky note as well. So on here, on the label for the entire folder, I put the date. So the date is always a Sunday. So in this case, it's 1/11. So I just put 1/11 and I kind of just stick it on here. And then now I have 1/11 and I put it in the very front. So I always put, you know, the newest at the beginning, and then you rotate out whatever that's old in the back. You either pull them out. I actually have more filing folders like this where I put the older ones. And also within the filing folder, I'll order them by, actually I'll put PNG first, and then I put red plum next. If there's 2 red plum, you do red plum 1, red plum 2, and then you do the smart source. I just like to kind of organize it like that. But it's not a big deal if you don't order them. Anyway, so that is how you do it. That's what I do. I'm gonna go ahead and do it for last weekend from 1/18. The stack is over here. One thing I did want to mention that I didn't mention when I was pulling them out is actually when I'm done pulling them out of the paper in a stack like this, is what I actually flip through every page of the inserts. So all the inserts, I flip through every single page. There are 2 reasons for that. So number 1 is first of all, as you're flipping through, your brain kind of remembers seeing a particular coupon. Even if you don't remember exactly what insert they came from, your brain it remembers things. Your subconscious remembers things. And when you're in a store, you might see something, or when you're looking at an ad, you might have a recollection of having seen a coupon on that product. And all you have to do is go to the coupon database to kind of look up what insert it was from. And by the way, the coupon database shows you which insert, which date, and which insert a coupon comes from on a particular product. And you can access the database. There's one on freestufffinder.com. If you click on coupon database, it will bring you up to it, or you can Google Free Stuff Finder coupon database. All right, so that's number 1, is so that you remember and kind of is aware of what coupons are out there. And second of all, what I like to do is as I'm flipping through, I look for high value coupons, or coupon I know for sure my family will use, right? If you're just starting out, you might not have the kind of knowingness of what to pull out, and that's fine. You don't have to pull out anything. So for example, I would pull out, this Garnier Fructis shampoo for $2 off. That's a high value coupon, and I'm sure there will be a deal on it, and I almost can guarantee you could get it for free somewhere this week or next week, or before it expires. So then I would cut them out and I would put them away in somewhere where I keep clipped coupons. Anyway, so that's what I do with inserts before I put them away. Put my Sharpie away. All right, so this is kind of what I do for storing the whole inserts. Extreme couponers that have a lot more inserts that they store, they even have like shelves. I've seen people use like cereal boxes. You cut it out and then you use that vertically to store inserts. If you have lots of them, that's a good idea too. Anyway, so what do you do with clipped coupons? Now you can put them in a binder. You can use accordions. Accordions are things like this, where it's like an accordion. I've got a lot of these everywhere. This accordion, I like to store like printable coupons because it's nice and wide and I don't have to fold the coupon for printable coupons. And then what I do is I plan my trips before I go out to the store, even if the store's out, but I plan in advance. And what I kind of do is I have pencil case, I use the pencil case method. I use a pencil case for each store. And I like these pencil cases that have two compartments, one in the front that is see-through, and then like a main department. So for example, this is Target. What you can keep in the front is you can keep your Target Red card, you can keep any Catalina coupons, you could keep any gift cards that you have. I keep them in the front so I can see it. And then on the inside, I've got things like receipts, and I do clean them out. And whatever coupon that I'm going to be using for that store. So for example, you know, the Bic, there's like lots of deals you can do on Bic right now at Target. So I put it in Target because I know I'm gonna be using it at Target. And then when I go to Target, I just bring this with me. So instead of bringing this or a big binder or lots of, you know, these things or lots of accordions, I just bring my Target thingy with me, Target pencil case with me. So similarly for CVS, you could have, and by the way, you could write the big word CVS in the front. If you have any like money cards or extra bucks, you could put them in the front. And then on the inside, you can keep receipts and you can keep related coupons that you're gonna be using at CVS. So similarly, I've got one for Rite Aid. I've got some reward dollars. I like to keep them in the front because if I keep them on the inside, they will get lost. And here is one for Walgreens. I haven't been to Walgreens in a while. I haven't couponed there in a while. But I also, you can tell on this one, I also keep rain checks. Old dirty rain check. I keep rain checks in the front. And I also keep like loose kind of paper clips in there too, because sometimes I'll find a few coupons and I wanna quickly just put it in here. I'll use paper clips to keep them organized. And so when I go couponing, I put these in a bag, a little shopping bag, and I call it my couponing bag. It's become my purse. Oh, so here's another tip. So when you have a bunch of coupons, this is not the best of examples. I should probably cut it for you, but let's say I have a bunch of these, right? I just have two here, but let's say I have a bunch of these. And so you can either use paper clips to group them together, or if you have a lot of them, another thing you can do is use a stapler instead of a paper clip. They're kind of nice, especially if you have like a book of 20 or 10. All you have to do is when you're clipping the coupon, leave a little bit room on the side or the top or the bottom, and you just staple that extra area together like this. Ooh. And then it's just nice. It's not as bulky. I find that paper clips are kind of bulky, and then sometimes they like come apart, and then you have all these loose coupons. So I just think it's really, really clean to have it stapled like this. And then when you want to use one, you just go, and then you hand it to the cashier. So there you go. That's what I do with my coupons and how I organize them. It's not perfect. There's pros and cons to that method as well, but it works for me, and it's quick. It's very, very quick. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I will make sure to do more videos on other organizational methods so that you're aware of other methods and the pros and cons of the different methods. And remember to come to freestufffinder.com, where we do post the latest couponing deals every single day. And if there's a insert coupon, we'll mention, you know, SS, Smart Source, SS14, Smart Source January 4th. And hopefully you will have things organized. You'll be able to find the coupons that you need for those couponing deals. Anyway, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.